So I think it is finally time we can sit down and talk about how the Cleveland Cavaliers are the real deal in the NBA and are 100% legit as one of the best teams currently in the world. Because I wanted to wait to talk about the Cavs and I wanted to wait to make this video because yes, they started off the season like 15-0 and yes, they're 29-4 as I'm recording this video, but I wanted to wait till it got to a point where I felt like 100% confident about this Cavs team. And I think there's been enough of a sample size with this Cavs team and how well they've been playing because they have been completely dominant and look like one of the best, if not the best teams in the world currently. We could take a look at their schedule here and see just how many games they've been winning, and they have been absolutely dominant wins as well. Their most recent victory was against the Lakers by 12 points in LA. That was a huge game for the Cavs to win. They beat Golden State, they beat Denver, they beat Utah, they beat Philadelphia, they beat the Bucks by 23, they beat Brooklyn by a blowout margin, they beat the Wizards. They did lose to the Miami Heat, which was a little bit disappointing of a loss for them because the Heat aren't great this season, and the Cavs are obviously a way better team. But then they beat the Hornets, they beat the Nuggets, they beat Washington, they beat Boston in a very close game. That was a huge win. And that was start of like the run. I mean, after the two horrible and just kind of outlier losses to the Atlanta Hawks in back-to-back games, which was just super surprising to see because before that they had only lost, right? They started off 15-0, then they lose their first game to Boston by 3 points on the road. I mean, that's a very hard environment to win in and against one of the best teams in the league. So, they're 15-0, then they lose one game to Boston, and you're thinking, okay, in a very close game, they're still probably one of the best teams in the league. But then they lose back-to-back. I mean, they win 2 games, sorry, I should say, against the Pelicans and Toronto. But then the third and fourth game, they lose to the Hawks twice in a row after starting 15-0 and losing to Boston by 3. You're kind of like, okay, what is going on here? What's going on with the Cavs? But then after that, they win 4 games in a row. They lose to Miami, and then they win, 10 games in a row, 7 games in a row, something ridiculous. So the Cleveland Cavaliers have been on an absolute dominant run. I mean, they're 29-4. They're the number one team in the NBA record-wise. And we'll talk about some stats here that they are leading in because they are leading in a lot of the offensive category, for teams in the NBA. But quickly before that, I do just want to talk about their schedule here coming up and what I can expect. Are they going to beat Dallas? I think probably just because Luka is still injured. The Mavs are a good team even without Luka Doncic. But with how good this Cavs team are playing, they're most likely going to now be 30-4. That is a ridiculous record. They do have to play Charlotte a couple days after that. Should be an easy win for them there. They do have to play probably one of the best games of the year on ESPN. Should be a nationally televised game, I would assume, against the OKC Thunder. That potentially could be a finals matchup and should be a really fun game. They do got an easy game against Toronto. They got a couple easy games against Indiana. They have to play OKC again. So they got some easy-ish couple games coming up here. Dallas, they should be able to win tomorrow on Friday just because the Mavs obviously don't have Luka Doncic, but will be a really good game against OKC coming up. But to talk about just how good this team has been, I want to take a look at a stat here. The Cleveland Cavaliers are currently on pace to win 72 games. And I saw another stat and another tweet talking about the OKC Thunder and the Cleveland Cavaliers. I think both of these teams, the Thunder and the Cavs, have like the same win percentage right now in the season that the 2016 Warriors had when they went 73-9 and the 1996 Chicago Bulls when they went 72-10. They have similar, I think very close to the same win percentage as those two teams, and we know those are the two, greatest regular season teams of all time, at least record-wise, and the Cavs are on pace to win 72 games. Now, do I think realistically they're going to win 72 games or break the record that the Warriors, have held since 2016? Obviously not. I don't think that's going to happen. Now, with how good they've been playing and how dominant they've been, could that happen? I wouldn't put it out of the question. I wouldn't say it's impossible, but no, I don't think it's likely that they're going to win 72 games, but they're on pace to do so, and they're really not slowing down. Like I was talking about, if they can beat the Thunder and, in back-to-back games, if they can win those 2 games against the Thunder, and they can just continue to keep rolling and rolling, and they stay fully healthy and stay playing this good, this dominant, I mean, this is an easy 60-win season for the Cleveland Cavaliers, barring no injury or just horrible play, or unless they go on a really bad losing streak. If they keep this up, this is a team that's going to win at least 60 games. and realistically could probably be in the mid 60s, 65, 66 wins. I would not be surprised to see for this Cavs team. And they have just been so amazing and honestly so fun to watch. I mean, they have been, one of the more fun offensive teams to watch right now in the league. And I want to talk about some stats here, about the team ranking, because as you guys can see, they currently lead the league in field goal percentage and also 3-point percentage. To me, that is a crazy stat. Like offensively, efficiency wise, they are the best team in basketball. They are first at 50% from the field, and they're also first from 41, or basically 41% from three. That means efficiency wise, they are the best in the NBA at putting the ball in the basket from the field goal range and the 3-point percentage, at least on percentages, right? Maybe they're not scoring the most points in the league because they're number 2. I'm not actually sure who's ahead of them. I thought they would have been number 1, but they also are second in 3 points made. So they're very close to being, the best scoring team in the league right now. But efficiency-wise, they are the best scoring team on paper in the league. They're number 2 in net difference. I know that's only behind the OKC Thunder because they have a net difference of, I believe it's plus 12, and the Cavs have plus 11.9. So it's very similar in the net plus, which is very good to see for the Cleveland Cavaliers. And just across the board, if you're looking at the numbers, they're top in a lot of stats, like 5th in assists, 8th in steals for a team that I don't really think is necessarily a great defensive team, but they get the job done on the defensive end. If you go across the board, they're also first in true shooting. So like definitely efficiency wise, they're the best team in the NBA offensively. And I would say, just overall, they are probably one of the best offensive teams. Now, to take a look at some of the numbers here for the players on this Cavs roster, I mean, they have so many players that have been contributing on this team. Obviously, you have to look at the head of the snake. You have to look at Donovan Mitchell, who's having a very efficient season. He's scoring almost 24 points per game on almost 46% from the field, but 41.5% from three. Super efficient for Donovan Mitchell. He's also getting you 4.5 assists and 4.5 rebounds per game, while also getting you 1.5 steals per game. So yes, Donovan Mitchell is easily the Cavaliers' best player. He is their superstar, and he has been a huge reason why this Cavs team has looked like the best team in the world. But Darius Garland, I want to talk about in that backcourt alongside D-Mitch. Yes, you don't have a ton of height and you don't have a ton of size in that backcourt with Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland, but these guys really make up for it on the offensive end. DG is averaging 20.5 points per game on, again, really good efficiency, even better than Donovan Mitchell, 42.7% from three, and also 49.3% from the field. So he's having a more efficient season than Donovan Mitchell. He's also giving you more assists and close to the same amount of steals. So it's really not crazy to say Darius Garland isn't too far behind a guy like Donovan Mitchell. So you're getting that level of production in your backcourt. And then in your front court, you're getting Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen, who, Mobley's averaging 18.4 points per game. Jarrett Allen's averaging 13.7. They're both going to be snagging quite a bit of rebounds. Mobley almost at 9. Jarrett Allen is over 10 a game. And then also their field goal percentage is going to be really good. Like Evan Mobley, 57% from the field. Jarrett Allen is almost at 70% from the field. So very efficient from your two big men. And even Evan Mobley is shooting 43% from three. It is ridiculous. And that's on 2.5 threes per game. So it's not like he's only taking 0.5 or 1 3 a game and making a couple. No, he's making quite a bit of, he's making 1 3 per game, which is very nice to see from Evan Mobley. And then you also got other role players around those guys. I would say those are their 4 best players by far. But then you got guys like Karis LeVert, Max Strus, even Dean Wade, Isaac Okoro, even Georges Niang is giving you solid production, right? Like they have so many good 3-point shooters. Like Isaac Okoro is shooting 49% from 3. Georges Niang shooting 38% from 3. Ty Jerome, he has been amazing off the bench for this Cavs roster. Probably been their most surprising player and just most impactful player off the bench. He's averaging 10 points per game. He's getting you 3.5 assists, 1.5 or almost 1.5 steals on really good efficiency across the board. Almost 50% from the field, 41.5% from 3. They even have a guy in Craig Porter Jr. when he gets minutes, right? He's scoring only 2.5 points per game, but he's coming in and hitting the 3 ball at 45.5% from 3. He doesn't play very often, but I'm just saying, when he comes in the game, these guys are they're getting good minutes from these guys off the bench. Karis LeVert is shooting 47% from 3. I mean, this is why they're shooting as a team over 40% from 3 is ridiculous. He's averaging 11.5 points per game as well. He's scoring the ball very effectively, also over 50% from the field, and he's getting you a steal per night. They have a lot of guys getting, at least one steal. Ty Jerome, right? Dean Wade is even getting you a steal per night. Karis LeVert, Jared Allen, Garland, D-Mitch, Mobley. Like, this is a, on paper, really good defensive team. Now, I don't think they have a really good point of attack defender besides, I guess, Donovan Mitchell. That's something, if they even wanted to make a trade at the deadline, is just trying to go out and get a guy that can guard ball and guard the other team's best player. Because when they start playing, or when they play superstar players, like, who's going to match up against Shea for this Cavs roster? Is it Karis LeVert? Is it Donovan Mitchell? Is he going to have to be asked to do that task? I don't think so, right? So they don't really have that many good point of attack defenders at all, but they make up for it with their offense. And this is seriously, on paper, one of the best offensive teams, if not the best offensive team right now in the league. So ridiculous stuff from the Cavs. They are such a fun and exciting team to watch. And I don't think they're just a feel-good story. I don't think they're just they started to 15-0 and then now they've kind of slowed down. They have continued that pace and continued that level of play into over 35 games pretty much now into the season, almost halfway through. They still have the best record in the league at 29-4. So let me know in the comment section down below, what do you guys think about this Cavs team? Do you guys think they're the real deal? Do you guys think they're going to be a legit title contender? Or let me know if you guys think they're just more of a regular season team. Let me know your guys' thoughts and opinions down below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.